Hello and welcome to the Nerd in Motion YouTube channel, and today we're talking again about car theft, and we're talking about Porsche, not Land Rover this time, and we're talking about headlights, and we're talking about the green stuff, and well, let's say it's not Duckham's. So let's get right into it.
Now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
So, if you haven't already watched the video, which I'll put a link to in the destructions in the description, there is a video going around that Matt Watson from Carwell did. And as always with Matt, it's a good video. It's Why Are Thieves Stealing Porsche Headlights? And it goes into detail about that Porsche headlights are being stolen to basically used to make grow farms. And the reason is the light from them is the right kind of light, and that they don't, because they're LED, they're light emitting diodes, they're not giving off quite so much heat. Well, I kind of think that that's not true. And also, I think Matt doesn't think it's true either, and I'll tell you why. Let me just shut this camera and we'll have a little look. So this is the video that Matt did. Great video, showed all sorts of stuff about it. But before that, there was a newspaper article, and it's referring to this Porsche here in the Sun, where it's been ripped open and they've stolen the headlights. And it says here, basically, ganja in 60 seconds. Let's see what they did there instead of gone in 60 seconds. £80,000 Porsche is left ripped apart by thieves as it has high-powered headlights being used to grow cannabis. One Porsche driver online said they're stolen for ganja farms as they use less power. Well, yeah, I actually don't think this is true. And it says here about the wings cut open to get the £3,500 high intensity discharge LEDs in Dusseldorf. Now, they have made a right mess of it, and that's going to cost a lot to fix. Luckily, there are a lot of take-hands for sale on Auto Trader, so that guy will be absolutely sorted because, you know, there's so many of them for sale. Sorry, I'm being facetious. So this is the article, right? So it's really making the statement that that's the reason why they're getting stolen. Now, this is an 11-year-old article from The Guardian, and it says, Porsche owners beware, cannabis growers may steal your headlights. A spate of thefts in Amsterdam suggests Porsche's xenon lights could be a perfect bit of kit for cultivating marijuana. So it's interesting because, yeah, the light. It talks about the light to heat ratio here for growing cannabis. But yeah, right. This is 11 years old. So I think what's happened, they've gone. The Sun have seen this image. They're like, well, I wonder if they're doing it again, and that's why they're stealing them. And then they've Googled it, they found this, and then of course everybody else kind of jumps on the bandwagon. As YouTubers, we do the same thing. We look at somebody else's. I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking at somebody else's video. I'm having a little bit of research myself. I just don't necessarily buy the story, and I don't think Matt does, because he alludes to it later on throughout the video where he talks about the fact that the parts are really, really expensive. And if you look, I had a quick look on Evil Bay, and you can see there's quite a few Porsche headlights for sale, and there's some new ones, there's some second-hand ones, and there's some interesting ones like this one here. Where is it? It's there, but look, it's funny. It's got a broken bracket, just very strange. But it's £600. I'm sure. Just, you know, it's common fault. But they're about £1,300 a light unit. They vary in price for slightly damaged ones I mean, there's one here, pre-owned, 700 quid. So if you can whip out a headlight fairly quickly, then you're going to be able to make a few quid quite quickly. But the other issue for me is that this was in Germany. Apparently, that's what it's saying. And where's Germany near? Or what's going on near Germany, or certainly nearer than Britain, is there's a big fat thing going on in Ukraine. And there's an embargo against some Ruskies, and they can't get bits at the moment for their cars. Now, many years ago, I worked in a breaker's yard. And when I worked for the breaker's yard, there are certain cars where you know what parts are going to be available on that car and what's going to be hard to find and what's going to be not. So 3 Series, anything quick that was a 3 Series, nearly every single one that came in to be sort of broken for parts, it was always front-ended and occasionally rear quarters where it slid sideways into stuff. If you had a 7 Series, they were nearly always driven into because they've been driving slowly. 5 Series, much the same. Although if you've got a quick one like a 535, quite often front end parts, and so there is definite parts that will break more often because of the way the cars are driven. So take-hands are very, very fast, which also means they're probably more likely to get damaged at the pointy end of things. And headlights is one of the things that you'd want to buy. And so I personally think that the reason why these headlights are getting done has got nothing to do with weed. The other reason is that article from like 11 years ago is, I think that technology within the sort of the green-fingered bunch is in hydroponics is probably come on a long way as well. And I would guess that there is somebody already making something with the LED technology required to lower the amount of heat because, you know, they want to sell stuff. And, you know, I just personally think that is probably not a thing. I just don't think it is. So I think this is a classic example of a video that has come off the back of a news report, which, to be honest, is a fantastic story. Much like me, I'm no different. In fact, Matt Watson referred to the JBL Bluetooth speaker that I had done a video on and mentioned that they can steal your car with stuff like that. And I just don't think that it is actually a thing. I don't think it's a thing. And we're just all copying each other, basically. And I think that's what's going around at the moment. So it makes a great story, but the Sun started this. But even so, if you have a Porsche, if you have a Porsche, look, don't leave it out because they might pinch your headlights. So yeah, that's my thoughts anyway. And so yeah, I'm gonna leave it I hope you found that interesting. Just my kind of thoughts on things, and yeah. Unnecessary pause. I just thought I'd put it in there for no particular reason. I'm drinking today this beer from Creative Juices, and it's called, of course, I Still Love You, and it's a bitter, and it's very nice, and I'm well into it now. So go and check them out. I'll put a link in the description below if you fancy enjoying the beer that I am drinking today. And yeah, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Oh, and by the way, the thing about Toyotas, them stealing those headlights, they're not stealing your headlights, they're actually stealing the whole car through the headlight control unit. But that's a whole nother story. So I'll leave it there. I've been in the nerdy motion, and I will see you all later on, you big...
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar.